Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Shortnerdyguy. It's Wednesday. I'm at the comic book store because it's Wednesday and it's got new comic books. But I am also here because I'm doing an interview with this guy. Haven't done an interview in a while. Why don't you introduce yourself, sir?
I am Ricky Eaddy, and I am working on a book currently myself, and got a children's book that I've worked on and trying to put out right now.
Nice. And now, when we were talking over Facebook, and you told me about all the things that you're doing, I'm like, Jesus, you do a lot. You do almost as much as I do because you still have a full-time job.
I do.
And then you do all these things, all these writing and all that stuff. I work full-time, and I do writing and the show and cosplay and other things. So I'm just like, I know what keeps me going. What keeps you going as far as trying to not fall into like the normal routine of like life and putting the dreams on the back burner?
It's enjoyment. It's fun. I mean, I work full time, and I do the webcomic. I do the children's book that I wrote. I'm trying to put out there. I'm writing my own comic book right now that hopefully I'll have done by Free Comic Book Day.
Nice.
Not to mention, my two kids that I do.
I forgot about that. You have two kids too.
I do Girl Scouts with my daughter and basketball with my son, and so I just got to keep busy.
Yeah, apparently. Wow. Here I thought I had it rough. No, you have two kids that do other things as well. Wow.
Wife helps a lot.
Oh, yeah, that's good. That's good. Like, I know that both of us, we both, we want to do this stuff because, we love it. And when we were kids, we're like, what show, comic, or movie, or video game, or whatever got you as a little kid to go, I think I'm going to be in this for a while?
When I first started out, I really was into X-Men, a lot when I was younger, reading the books there, and then, obviously the cartoon, came out, and then, the movies started out from there, so it kind of was like, from there I was kind of hooked. I've always been a big fan of, X-Men and Iron Man, and, so.
All the good stuff.
Yeah, and so, and also, I like my art style is kind of like cartoony, so I was always a big fan of, like the Far Side, like single panel comics, which is basically how my webcomic is. So it's basically kind of like a little single panel of a picture with some day-to-day things that are going on that I think that are funny. So.
Yeah. Kind of because I think that way too. It's like sometimes when I work at the airport and it gets a little busy, I feel that I have this secret room where there's the Iron Man spinning circle, and so when stuff gets busy, I go in there, and all of a sudden I just like have this suit on, and then
it all flies to you. Yeah,
and then takes off, and then I help out and everything. But all right, why don't you tell the people what the webcomic is and what you're trying to promote here?
Well, for the first thing I got the webcomic that I'm doing. It's called Vocabularious. Kind of a funny name that I kind of came up with because it's basically a single panel comic that I like silly kind of puns, dad jokes they call them, and so a lot of times a lot of the panels would be about me or I'm pretty much in almost all of them. It's like it's kind of a self thing of my kids and some random things, and then there's usually a vocabulary word that will go along with it that says I am something on the bottom, which I try to find really random obscure words. I kind of like vocabulary, and so awesome. Something will be kind of funny in the picture, and then it'll say I am whatever, and then you kind of like, well, I didn't know what that word meant, but if you read the comic, you can kind of get the gist of what the word means. So hopefully you're getting a laugh and learning something at the same time.
Nice, that's pretty awesome.
And so I got that going on, and then the children's book that I'm doing is called B&Dlove C. And so it was an idea that I came up with a few years ago to help out with my daughter in kindergarten a lot, and I noticed her and a lot of other kids always had trouble getting their B's and D's right. And so just being there helping them out is kind of like, well, how can I help her more doing this? And I came up with this idea that like B and D will face certain ways because B and D both want to look at C, so C's in the middle. So B likes C and D likes C, and so they're both looking at her all the time.
Nice.
And so the idea of the book is that we have B and D are both trying to win C over to
Right. That's pretty clever.
Yeah, and so now anytime that even now she's 8 now, and if I see her doing something and she'll ask or somebody asks, I always say, "What do you say?" Because it goes off the phrase B and D like C, and she can remember it, and then okay, that's how it goes. You know,
should have told my grandpa that because he was full blood Mexican, and so he got his B's and D's mixed up. So he would just be like, "Hey, you want to watch a BVD?" And I'm like, "What's a BVD?" You know, a BVD. I'm like, oh, okay, I don't know what you're talking about. And then he pulls it out. Oh, a DVD.
It's funny.
Okay, I get it. You're full Mexican.
And the funny thing about it too is that when I came up with the idea for it, it was kind of just, you know, it was to help her out with that. I didn't even think of doing a book at the time. I was like, I just thought of the phrase. It was like, it rhymed, and I put it together, and then one day I was kind of sitting down, and I was like, well, you know, I could probably do something with that. And so I wrote the book, and then as I was putting it out there and writing it, and she read it, and she liked it, you know, it's pretty simple, you know, gives like basic, and it's color-coded, so the B's always face the same way, and they're all colored. So the words are all colored, with the D's are all the same color, and the B's are all the same color in the text. So, you know, the kids can read it. And she was even telling me about, you know, that, like, kids with dyslexia might be able to read it and find out, you know, at least get the understanding of it, you know, which would be good. And, you know, at the time, 7-year-old girl telling me about it, I was like, that's actually kind of smart.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's kind of like been my mission at this point now with the GoFundMe that I got going on to get the book done and then, you know, donate some of them to, you know, local schools, you know, and put them out there because it's really for like a, you know, pre-K, K through first grade book that can definitely help them, I think.
Nice. Now, yeah, I'm dyslexic, and if I had that book, I'd be like, oh, this makes a lot more sense than what you're teaching me right now.
Yeah, and I know a lot of, you know, with that, it's not always just reverse letters, but, you know, kids that have trouble with identifying colors, which is why I put the colors in it, you know, and things like that. So it's kind of like, I know it's kind of it's a starter thing, and it's, you don't really do a full diagnosis until you're a lot older, but, you know, if it's something that can help them early on.
That sounds pretty amazing, though, to have something that small that you were just like, oh, you rhyme something just to help your daughter, and then, you know, 2 months later, like, I could do something with this.
Yeah, and that's, you know, I was at work one night, and I was working a late night job, and I was there till like midnight every night, and the kids would be at home asleep, and I was sitting there bored, and I was like, I just started doodling, and next thing you know, it became a book.
Isn't that funny how amazing things are like just are small things, and then you just keep working at it, and then you're just like, oh, this could actually be a thing now.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Like, I have all these ideas that I like want to put out there that I want to do, and I started doing. You know, I have like I don't know how many half-finished screenplays that I've started, and you know, wrote and done all these things, and then, you know, my buddy Kyron, you know, he was doing Big Tree Comics, and he has his book out, and so it got me kind of motivated to like, well, let me put some ideas down here and kind of get that going, and so I developed a little idea for one. It was kind of a darker comic, more of kind of a big jump off of the Vocabularia series, which was kind of funny. But then I was like, well, I mean, I like the story, but it might not fit my style. Right. So then I changed it to another story that I'm working on right now, that I'm getting the book done right now. It's called White and Long. Oh. And so it's going to be like a buddy comedy, buddy cop comedy. Nice. That's, you know, and cool. So that's what I'm working on right now. And so that, I think it fits my style of humor a little bit better. There you go. Yeah, I mean, I have, if you check my Google Docs, there's about like 6 unfinished. Like, I just come up and was like, oh, that's awesome. Yeah. And then the next day I'm like, I got nothing. So it's awesome to have that kind of imagination, but at the same time, it's horrible. It is. Because too much goes everywhere, and just, it's horrible. But that's amazing what you're doing. Well, thank you. And to everyone where you can find your GoFundMe page and all your other things. I wrote it down. Let me see if I pull up that address. It was www.gofundme.com/MW84KO. Nice. All right, well, I'll put that in the links in the description when we're done here. But, all right, so guys, you hear, help this guy out. Go to GoFundMe.com/ what was it again? It was /MW84 KO to help him get this book out, because if, like I said before, if I was a kid when this guy was making this book, that would have helped me tremendously want to read more, because when
kids that have dyslexia now, it's probably even worse now because of the non-attention span that everyone has, and everything has to be like this now. I think that would be a great book to help those kids out. So, go there, support him, help the book, and this guy's a nice guy, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I'm all right.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. All right, I thank you guys for watching.
Plug website?
Plug the website.
BigTreeComics.com and then vocabularious.smackjeeves.com.
Go there as well. Also, you can go to, if you want to see more of this, go to tvpstudios.com for more podcasts and videos. And thanks, Scatter Comics, for sponsoring this episode. Have a great night, guys.
Thank you.